Welcome back. I'm Wyatt Goolsby in for Lauren Ashburn. Pro-life leaders are praising a bill that would ban most abortions after 20 weeks of pregnancy. It was passed by the House earlier this month and is now in the Senate.
Not only does this legislation provide legal protections for the unborn child who can feel pain, but it also protects mothers from the increased risks associated with late-term abortions.
Catherine Glenn Foster, president and CEO of Americans United for Life, also says it's a common sense humanitarian law. Joining us now is Dr. Gracie Christie, policy advisor for the Catholic Association. Dr. Christie is also a radiologist. So, Dr. Christie, you say this bill would align federal law with the sentiments of the American public. Can you explain what you mean by that?
Yeah, so nice to see you, Wyatt, for a long distance. And the American public has they don't like late-term abortion. The great majority of Americans think that it's something that should not be happening in the United States, and this bill would put our laws in alignment with that sentiment. Even only 1/3 of pro-choice Americans believe that abortion should be available to the end of the pregnancy.
It's interesting because this legislation is aimed at protecting the unborn child. We now know a lot more about science. We know that science says that a baby can feel pain at 20 weeks in the womb. Can you explain a little bit more about the science behind that?
So it's important to understand that the science of fetal pain is real, and that we do know by the same measures that we use to measure the pain responses of babies who are in the neonatal ICU of the same age. We know that those babies feel pain because we can measure we can record the way that they respond, for instance, in the stress hormones that are released when a baby that age feels pain. We know that they are experiencing that. And in the same way, we can make those same measurements in the womb. So there is scientific basis for the fact that these innocent creatures are feeling pain when they're being aborted, dismembered in the womb.
Senator Lindsey Graham, a Republican from South Carolina, has introduced the bill to the Senate, but it's not expected to get the 60 votes it needs there. Republicans generally support the bill, only hold 52 seats. So if it doesn't pass, where do we go in the culture? I mean, where do we go to get support? What do you think would be, generally speaking, the next steps?
Well, culturally, I think that this bill, in any case, makes a really important movement away from the idea that allowing babies to live should be pegged to their viability. In other words, are they able to survive outside the womb? And instead, this bill changes us culturally to start thinking of the fact that we have to start thinking of the fetus as a creature that should be protected for their own sake.
Let's switch topics here for a minute, Dr. Christie. On Friday, the Trump administration rolled back the controversial Health and Human Services contraceptive mandate. That's the part of Obamacare that impacted Catholic groups all over the country, including the Little Sisters of the Poor, our own network. Just first off, let me get your reaction. What are your thoughts on the rollback itself?
Well, we were incredibly happy. You don't have to be in D.C. to be following these important things, because all Catholics, all people of faith really and of conscience were affected by this mandate, which brought the government right into these really intimate spaces in our lives, as employers, as employees, the way we operate in the public square. So we're really excited in Miami, and as a doctor, I'm particularly pleased, because all of this has to do with medicine and the way that the government decides, what constitutes medical care and what they want to support and what they don't want to support. And we've always felt as doctors that contraception is not necessarily something that the government has to push down everyone's throat and even make everyone pay for.
Absolutely. Such important topics here, and we're so happy to get your analysis of this. Dr. Gracie Christie, policy advisor for the Catholic Association. Thanks so much.
Thank you.